Fresh blood stained the wooden porch of my cabin, the sharp crack of a gunshot shattering the stillness of Willow Creek's quiet morning. I stood frozen, watching my best friend, Ethan, crumple onto the gravel driveway, clutching his leg as crimson pooled beneath him. Our HOA president, Margaret, had just called the police, accusing him of being a threat, and then pulled the trigger right in front of me. As I knelt beside Ethan, my hands shaking while pressing against his wound, one chilling question burned in my mind. What was Margaret so desperate to hide that she'd resort to violence? Because what started as a few harmless questions about our neighborhood had spiraled into something deadly. This is the story of how one HOA tyrant's secrets unraveled everything. I thought retirement would be a breeze. After 15 years chasing financial criminals at the FBI, I was done burned out from seeing too many lives destroyed by greed. I'd had my fill of fraud cases and just wanted peace. So, in the summer of 2024, I bought a cozy cabin in Willow Creek Estates, a small community of 25 homes nestled in the rolling hills of Oregon. Picture perfect lawns, friendly neighbors, the kind of place where your biggest worry should be whether to grill steaks or ribs for the weekend. For nearly 2 years, it was paradisino crime, no drama, just a well-run HOA that kept everything in order. I should have known it was too good to last. Trouble started when Ethan Carter, my old buddy from my FBI days, came to visit. Ethan's a genius data analyst who used to work for the SEC, the kind of guy who can spot fraud in a spreadsheet faster than most people can read one. He drove up from Portland to help me sort out my retirement investments. But being Ethan, he couldn't resist poking around Willow Creek's financials. Just curious about property values, he said, setting up his laptop on my porch like it was a command center. Curiosity. Yeah, right, Ethan sniffing around numbers is like a shark smelling blood. That's when Margaret Thornton showed up. She was the picture of suburban perfection, blonde hair in a flawless bob, tailored blazer, a smile that seemed warm until you noticed it never reached her eyes. As HOA president and CEO of Crestwood Insurance, she carried herself like she was selling beachfront condos. "I hope you're settling in, Michael," she said, her eyes flicking to Ethan's laptop. "I wanted to offer you our exclusive community insurance package, $200 a month for $800,000 in coverage. Fire, flood, theft, liability. A steal, really." Her tone had an edge, like she was sizing me up. "Someone with your background knows the value of protection, right?" My FBI instinct screamed, but I kept it polite. "Thanks, Margaret, but I'm good with my current plan." Her smile twitched, just for a seconda till I'd learned to spot after years reading Liars. Ethan, of course, couldn't let it go. "That's odd," he said, loud enough for her to hear. "Michael mentioned most folks here use Crestwood Insurance. That's rare for a free market, right? People usually shop around." Margaret's jaw tightened, barely noticeable, but I saw it. "Our residents value quality and efficiency," she said smoothly. "Why change what works?" But Ethan was already deep in his laptop, that gleam in his eye he got before blowing open a case. "Whoa, Michael, look at this," he muttered, pulling up public records. In the last 20 months, this tiny neighborhood's had 14 major incidents, 6 fires, 5 floods, 3 break-ins. That's way above the national average. And get this, every claim was paid out in under 2 weeks. That's unheard of. Margaret's polished facade started to crack. "We pride ourselves on fast service," she said, but her voice was tight. Ethan kept digging. "Here's the kicker. Every flood happened right after a rain forecast. Every fire hit when owners were at HOA events. The odds of that being random are basically zero." I felt a chill, the kind I used to get before uncovering a conspiracy. Margaret excused herself, muttering about urgent HOA business, but through my window, I saw her in the office across the street, pacing and talking on her phone, gesturing toward my cabin. Her body language screamed panic. Ethan leaned in, voice low. "Nobody's complaining, Michael. 14 incidents, and everyone's just thrilled with their payouts. That's not normal. People get paranoid after break-ins or fires, but here, they're all weirdly okay with it." He was right. In my FBI days, crime waves sparked outrage, not gratitude. As night fell, I caught Margaret still working late, poring over documents in the HOA office. Something was off, but I couldn't pin it down. That night, I couldn't sleep, replaying Margaret's defensiveness and Ethan's data. It felt like we'd stumbled onto something big. At 7 a.m., Ethan called, buzzing with adrenaline. I pulled an all-nighter, Michael. Every payout here falls between $60,000 and $250,002, consistent to be random. And property values in Willow Creek? Up 45% in 2 years. That's insane for a place like this. Before I could process it, I heard a commotion outside. 2 men in work boots were eyeing Ethan's car, whispering and making calls. They looked like contractors, but their presence felt staged. "Ethan, I'll call you back," I said, stepping onto the porch. Within minutes, sirens wailed. 2 cop cars, a fire truck, and a hazmat van screeched into our quiet street like it was a war zone. I stood there in my robe, coffee in hand, dumbfounded. A cop approached, hand on his holster. "Sir, we got reports of suspicious surveillance at this address." Then Margaret swooped in, clutching a folder, her performance flawless. "Officers, thank goodness you're here. Yesterday, I saw strangers with high-tech equipment snooping around, asking odd questions about our insurance claims." She pointed at my cabin like it was a crime scene. They were documenting private community data. I stared, jaw dropped, as she spun Ethan's analysis into a terrorist plot. Detective Sarah Lopez, an old colleague from my FBI days, pulled me aside. "Michael, what's going on?" The caller was terrified about arsonist surveillance. I explained Ethan's research, and her eyes lit up. "Wait, your friend's analyzing claim patterns?" "I investigated a similar case at Meadow Ridge last year, same MO, same insurance company, Crestwood. We couldn't prove it, but this sounds identical." My pulse raced. If Sarah had seen this before, Margaret's operation was bigger than we thought. Things spiraled fast. Neighbors filmed the chaos, news vans rolled in, and Margaret played the hero, giving interviews about protecting our families. But Sarah wasn't fooled. "I need Ethan's data," she said. "This could reopen my case." We planned for Ethan to bring his laptop the next day, but I couldn't shake the feeling we'd crossed a line. Margaret's 911 call felt like a move to silence Ethan before he dug deeper. That night, Ethan called, panicked. "Michael, Margaret's hacking my laptop, deleting files. I found some Thinga file labeled Final Contingency Miller Cabin set for tomorrow night." My stomach dropped. He'd accidentally downloaded part of Margaret's database, and she was covering her tracks. Ethan raced back to my cabin, clutching his laptop. "This isn't just fraud," he said, showing me an encrypted folder. "She's targeting anyone who asks questions, dozens of people across multiple HOAs." Then Margaret appeared in my yard, unhinged, holding a gun. "Why can't you leave it alone?" she screamed. "I built something perfect, and you're ruining it." Ethan tried to calm her, but she was gone, ranting about losing everything years ago when insurance companies failed her. "I'm giving people better lives, new homes, new stuff. I take my cut. It's fair." Before I could react, she fired. Ethan collapsed, blood pouring from his leg. I rushed to him, calling 911, as Sarah arrived, disarming Margaret. A search of Margaret's belongings revealed a USB drive with records of a multi-state fraud ring, 47 homes targeted, HOA surveillance logs, and a plan to kill me via a gas leak next week. Margaret's empire was crumbling. Ethan survived, but faced permanent mobility issues. Sarah's team found a deleted folder on Ethan's laptop. Insurance targets 2025 to 2028. Suppression plan. The FBI launched a task force, uncovering Margaret's network across states, exploiting vulnerable families for millions. Then, at 3 a.m., Margaret escaped custody during a 7-minute camera blackout, leaving a note. "You can't burn what's already ash." A manhunt ensued. SWAT caught her at the HOA office, burning evidence, ranting over the intercom about her vision. Her arrest dismantled her network, but her final whisper to me chilled my bones. "Check your basement, Michael." I left a gift. That night, I found a hidden gas leak system clicking for weeks, designed to kill me slowly. Margaret's trial exposed her as a predator, not a savior, earning her 30 years without parole. Her assets funded victim recovery, and Willow Creek rebuilt, but the scars remain. What would you do if your neighbor was a mastermind like Margaret? Could you spot the signs before it's too late? Comment below, where are you reading from? And are you Team FBI or Team Margaret? Like and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you up at night.